Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. I'm your host, Kendall Aaliyah.
And I'm Julia Renee.
Beautiful.
I was mid-yawn.
It's kind of like a lullaby today. I'm sleepy. Are you sleepy?
I'm pretty sleepy. I have...
Did you cut your hair?
No.
Oh, it looks short right now. I think your shorter layers are just... Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I brought it back to the front. No, I washed my hair.
Nice.
Yesterday.
So did I.
Usually I do it tonight. Mm-hmm. So every podcast, my hair is so dirty. And then
look at you
last
now.
night, I was like, I just have to do it. I just couldn't live with it any longer.
That's how I was. I also haven't self-tanned in like 6 months. Probably not that long. But I've been getting like real sun. And I was like, I should fake tan on top of the real sun and see how it looks. And so I was sitting there, greasy hair. I put a face mask on and self-tan on. And I was like trying not to touch anything. And I was like, okay, I need like a deep everything shower once I get in the shower because I felt disgusting. But
everything showers are the best.
I enjoy them. People always complain about them, but I'm like, I feel great.
Yeah, they are the best. Like my favorite thing to do is like to do it all like once a week, just like the shave with the oil with the hair. Like I do, but it takes me so long because then I have to get out and it takes like an hour to like blow dry my hair completely.
Yeah.
And then if I don't blow dry my extensions and I just like let it air dry, it doesn't air dry.
I guess that makes sense. I've never thought of that.
Underneath, it just sits there and gets wet and
so
stays wet.
So do you only wash it once a week?
Yeah.
Okay. I know we've talked about this. Yeah. I'm like an every 3 to 4 days person.
Yeah.
Because mine is gross. I also have really thin hair though, so you see that oil.
That's true. I'm curious because I'm like, what if I took out my extensions? Like, how long would it take me to blow dry my hair? Like, I don't remember. Like, I genuinely don't remember because I've had them so long now. I think I got them back in I don't know.
A few years.
It's been a long time.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm feeling like crap. Coach upped my cardio again. Aww. So now I have an hour and a half, 6 times a week. I
saw you did cardio this morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, she definitely upped the cardio.
Yeah, I have 20 more minutes to do later.
You look great though. So beauty is pain.
You're great. Everything's great.
Anyway, that's not what today's episode is about. I'll let you take the reins on this one.
Yes. Today, Kendall's been making me take the reins on most of these episodes lately, even though I'm the one that's in prep.
That's not true. We alternate. Mondays are usually you.
Mondays are usually me.
Wednesday, I ramble about random
Wednesday is unhinged.
Yeah.
But today we actually have a topic.
Yes, today we have a topic, which is why you take the reins.
Yeah. And usually it's like outline Julia. Kendall is like not outline, which is honestly...
That's how my brain works.
Yeah. And it's honestly more fun. But today we're going to talk about like the 5 things that you can do right now to get shredded for summer. Like by the time that you're hearing this episode, it's already like mid-July. And I feel like a lot of people are like...
Isn't that insane?
I know. Like, it's kind of crazy.
I feel like we're still in, like, March.
I always feel that way, too, because I usually prep through the summer. So I don't ever really get to experience summer normal people do, like, with vacations and, like, parties and things. So the summers are always, like... They go by so fast for me. And I'm like, it's over. Because I just spend it like prepping, which is how I choose to. But if you're hearing this, you're probably hearing it mid-July-ish because we film a week in advance. But you've probably been thinking about doing this and changing your habits like for a while and you just haven't done it yet. So I'm going to kind of go over 5 things that you can do right now to make this goal actually come true. So if you want to add your own things. Because it's not too late.
I want to add that too. Even though it's already July, like you can continue your fitness journey and be lean by August, you know? Like a month of consistency and doing these things is going to make a huge difference in your physique if you're not already doing these things.
Very true.
Yeah. I can say the first one because I feel like this one is like huge for me. Every time I go into it's time to clean up a little bit phase, the first thing I do or we do is remove temptations. I feel like my number one thing is like delete the easy access off of your phone. So like DoorDash, Uber Eats, all the things where you're going to like go and eat these meals you know you shouldn't be eating, you might as well like remove that initial step, because now it'll take that extra step of downloading the app, putting in your info, doing all the things before you actually order it. That gives you more time to actually think about what you want to do and your goals and all of the things. Another thing is keeping things in your house. This one is huge, especially for like all of my clients that have kids. I understand it's much more difficult to control what's in the house, but trying to opt for like healthier snacks or healthier cereals, healthier alternatives, instead of just carrying junk food in your pantry. Again, it's that initial, now you have to do an extra step of driving to the store, picking out the unhealthy food, driving back home, whatever. That's just added steps where now you're less likely to actually eat the thing versus if it's just downstairs in your pantry.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Like there's a reason that there's fast food and like people make these apps and like we have Amazon that delivers like same day or next day. It's because we really enjoy the convenience of it. And if something is convenient, whether it's like the app on your phone or if it's just like in your pantry and fridge, like we're going to eat it. We're going to order it.
It's like out of sight, out of mind type of tactic. Where like, why do that to yourself if you know your goal is to eat healthy? Why have the unhealthy food, you know?
And I also get a lot from like my clients that the kids thing too, or the husband that doesn't eat healthy, or they're bringing home stuff. And there's one thing that you can do, at least it's, if you can't just go into your pantry and like get rid of everything, changing where it is. So it's actually not in your eye line, like literally bringing it higher. And since I'm short, it's like, I got to get on a ladder if I want to reach that.
That's probably a great tactic for you and Zach, is like junk food's just on the top shelf.
Exactly.
You don't even know it's there.
Yeah. And then I can't see it unless I like look all the way up, or I get a ladder and I go and get it. So changing that is so big. Or if you just like, even in the freezer, just like hiding things so that it's not like the first thing that you see. Because if you're hungry and you're starving and you see it, you're going to be like, ooh.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to grab that. But there's so many food apps for like everything now. It's kind of crazy. I posted a little thing about this on Instagram, and one of the girls DM'd me and was like, so you saying I should delete my McDonald's app? And I was like, probably. I mean, it's just so convenient.
Well, that's like if you're like addicted to caffeine and you're trying to kick that habit, having the Starbucks app, it's like such an enabler. And the same thing goes with food, of like, why have it right in front of your eyes, you know? Like,
and it's just too easy.
It's way too easy.
Yeah, so try, like, take an audit of the things that you have, like, in your pantry and in your fridge. My little sister came to the podcast, like, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And after the podcast, she's like, Julia, do you have any snacks? I'm really hungry.
You're like, no.
And I was like, I have blueberries. I have
and protein
oats,
powder.
I have chicken. I was like, you can go look. And that's because I don't have these things just lying around, because I know if I do, then I'm going to eat it.
That's how I am. That's how I am. And I also try to, on the same level, I try to buy healthy alternatives. So if I'm still craving a cookie, let's say, I have like this gluten-free, dairy-free, everything-free, like low-calorie alternative I buy sometimes. That way, instead of letting that craving fester and now I am going to go and drive to the store and get it, I have an alternative right there where if I have one, it's like 40 calories, and it's like, okay, that's out of my system now, and now I can have my meal, you know? So still keeping healthy snacks around the house so that you're not tempted with the unhealthy.
One of my favorite things when I'm in off season, I can do more macros, is I feel like a lot of people crave like a salty or a sweet or whatever it might be. And I like getting those individual Quaker bags that are like different flavors. They make the little rice cake ones.
Those
like,
are the best.
There's ranch, they have nacho cheese, like all of these, and they're so good. And it's like a small pack. And you never know. You might end up going to the store and wanting to get the like full calorie, whatever thing that might not be as healthy for you. But when you have that as that first option, it can really help with that craving of like, oh, well, I have my salty craving. It's gone now.
Exactly.
Which is usually what happens to me.
For me, it's always sweet, but same thing.
Yeah. I have to have both. It's like if I have one, I immediately want the other.
If I have too much of one,
It's
like if I
crazy.
start my day with like a sweet oatmeal and then have something sweet like after that, I'm like sweeted out for
really?
like a day or two. But if if I start my day with healthy food almost every night, I'm like, what's my sweet treat of
Exactly.
choice?
That's my Ninja Creamy at night.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I need to start using ours. None of us use it.
It's so good.
Anyway.
I can't wait to make the recipes like more fun and add more stuff.
Yeah, true.
Because right now it's just
like protein.
Protein powder. That's it. It's so
I'm sure
boring.
it's still good.
But it's better than nothing.
Okay, what's number 2?
The second one is to actually start tracking and weighing your food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, buy yourself a kitchen scale. They're so inexpensive. You can get them from Amazon. You can also get a travel one and bring it with you when you travel. Of course, like this is a little bit more drastic for someone who's like a bodybuilder. And it's like, you have to actually weigh your food.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how much you're eating, how are you going to know if you're actually in a caloric deficit, which is a tip that we'll explain a little bit more later on. But a lot of people don't realize that they're grossly overeating or actually severely undereating and not getting enough protein in and wondering why they're feeling so like fatigued and tired. And of course, like if our goal is to like lose a little bit of weight, get a little bit more toned, shredded for summer, we're going to have to eat a little bit less calories. But if you have no idea what you're putting into your body and how much of it, it's going to make it really difficult.
I always recommend, because like I'm not someone that tracks on a daily basis anymore, but that's because I tracked for years. So I know,
Well,
like
now you
I
know.
know what I'm eating. I could probably tell you the calories in like anything because I just have so much memorized. But for my clients that start with me or will do this like once in a while just to check in, if you don't want to be that person that measures every meal for the rest of your life and tracks everything on MyFitnessPal and does all the things, I recommend at least at minimum doing it for a week. Because that gives you a baseline of like, this is how I usually eat. Now you're seeing it in numbers and you're seeing if you're under or over. And then it's easier after that week to have an understanding of what quantity actually looks like. Because sometimes someone's like, oh, I just use like a splash of oil. And it's like, really, you're using like 300 calories of oil because you're using like a fourth of a cup, and that stuff adds up, you know?
Exactly. And there's so many things that have like hidden calories that people don't really realize, like drinks, sauces. Like there was this video that I saw on Instagram, and it was a girl showing a McDonald's meal, and it was like a small burger, like a medium fry, and like a smaller drink. And the calories were the same as a acai bowl that's like a big acai bowl right next to it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's like one has more nutritional value than the other, but the acai bowl had more calories because it's deemed as something that is healthy. And of course, like the option is slightly better because of the ingredients, but if your goal is to lose weight, that honestly doesn't matter.
Yeah. And
it's
you have
calories
like no
in,
clue.
Yeah, it's calories in, calories out, and you're eating this thing that you deem as healthy, and you don't actually know that it's 1,000+ calories, and that's only one of the meals that you had per day. If the goal is weight loss, at the end of the day, it is calories in, calories out, but you also want to take in consideration like the actual nutritional value of the things that you're eating.
For sure.
Primarily, you know, whole foods and stuff like that. But seeing that video, it's like really eye-opening because I have a lot of people that will have consultations with me for coaching, and we go over their nutrition and what they're eating. And most of the time they're like, I try to eat healthy, I make these different choices. And of course, like their intention is to try and be healthy, but they don't actually know the calories, the portion sizes of each thing. It's not good enough to just try to be healthy, especially if you want to like see actual weight loss. Tracking some things, like you said, for like a week, it's like, oh, like you actually, oh crap, I didn't know this sauce that I'm having every single day is like that I drench over my salad is turning a 300 calorie salad into something that's like 500-600 calories.
Yeah.
You're like, oh crap, I didn't, you
And
don't realize
that's so common too. And even I still do that, where I like don't realize a sauce or like something new I'm trying to make is so high calorie until you really break it down. Like I was telling you, I was getting into baking and I broke it down. I did like the whole recipe for like the whole loaf and then like divided it by how many pieces. And I was like, oh, each piece is like 300 calories.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's something you wouldn't know because you're like mixing 100 ingredients together. But if you like sit there and you do the math, like it's easy to view everything you eat. Like it's easy to track everything. There's so much knowledge out there now.
Definitely. Like even I've seen a lot of those recipes, like healthy, baking recipes where they're using like peanut butter, oats, honey,
all
chia
calorie
seeds.
dense.
Yeah, it's like all of those are healthy like options. Like they're more nutritious than saying like going and getting like a Reese's peanut butter cup or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's still calories in, calories out. Like those, like a tablespoon of peanut butter is what, 190 calories for just 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. And I don't want to get so like caught up in the calories of it, but
it does matter, especially if you don't know.
But that's what tracking can do for you. It can give you that view of what maybe 3 ounces of chicken looks like, maybe what a half a cup of rice looks like, if you're getting enough protein in, and then you can kind of move it from there. So yeah.
The next thing is to move more, which I think is so underrated. I was actually listening, I think it was to a podcast or someone like Instagram story. She's just like really knowledgeable in the fitness space. And someone was asking her like how she did her cut. They were like, what cardio do you do? And she was like, I literally go for walks. I just get my steps in. Like just moving your body more makes such a huge difference. I know you have written here, like working out in a hotter gym or like a different environment, or like going on hikes, being outside, going on runs, like finding new ways to move your body. And it is so important, especially like the Texas heat. I was looking at my physique last year around this time and I was like, how was I so lean? Like I was not trying. It's because I was working out at that outdoor gym. And I was like, oh, I was burning like double the calories because I was sweating so much.
I am.
Yes.
Yesterday, it was so disgusting. You know, all of you guys know I sweat a lot. Like I sweat more than the average woman. And that's not like a
sorry, it's not funny.
It's not a flex. It's because I have hyperhidrosis.
I think it's badass personally. I love sweating.
But I wore a bandeau top and like my little scrunchy shorts. And I did this video, and it's probably going to be on TikTok or something like that by now. But where I pulled the tube top forward and I wrung it out, and it literally sweat. It was crazy. And I'm like very much convinced that I am burning more calories than if I would.
Looking at my physique around that time when I was training at that gym, I was like, because it's just so hot.
Yes.
For those who don't know, there's a gym here that's like, it's essentially all outdoors, because even though part is indoors, there's like bay doors that are open. So like you're sweating no matter where you are in that gym. I think maybe the bathrooms have some AC.
Yes. But even if I get trapped in that bathroom, if I get trapped in the bathroom for too long, I start sweating even in the bathroom.
Yeah. It's just wildly hot. But little things like that, or like opting to take the stairs instead of the elevators, or like I walked my dog last night and I was like, I don't do this enough. Like it's so easy to write off little things as like, oh, I'll just like let him in the back and I'll sit there, when instead you could walk with your dog and burn a little bit extra calories that day.
Or park like further away and do more walking, like going to a mall. Like actually just like, it's crazy, like going to a mall and actually walking around the stores instead of ordering things online. Like
I did that over the weekend. I was like, I just want to go walk at like the Domain, because I haven't done that in so long, and it was so hot and it was like such a nice walk, and I didn't even get anything. I just wanted to go to walk and like be around people. Yeah.
And it's almost distracting you from working out. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us think that we need to move our bodies and it has to be like a gym workout, or it has to be like cardio on a machine or whatever, but there's so many other ways to move that like confuses you and like tricks you.
I'm just shopping.
Like even like it's the summer, like going swimming and going to, like for us in Austin, Texas, there's Barton Springs and stuff like that. You're moving more than you would have before. And a lot of us have jobs where we're sitting at a desk all day. So even setting like reminders of, okay, move reminders. Like, I mean, even your watch, if you have an Apple Watch, it'll tell you to stand and use that as an opportunity to like move around your house. And we burn calories in a number of different ways. We burn it at rest when we're just like sleeping or sitting on the couch. We burn it doing non-actual like physical activity exercises like washing your dishes, like making your bed. We burn calories when we're digesting food. Like there's so many things that burn calories other than like working out and going to the gym. So keeping that into consideration and moving a little bit more. Or if you're not somebody that tracks your steps, like start tracking it. Like see if you can hit 7K steps for a week each day.
If you have an iPhone, every iPhone's equipped with the health app and it tracks your steps for you. I recommend going and looking at it, because when I started my running journey recently, I looked back and I was like, oh, on a normal day, I think I move like a mile. And I'm like, that's so sad. And now since I've been running, that's like 2-ish miles right there. And then I've been trying to walk more. So now I'm up in the like 4 or 5 mile range. And I'm like, okay, now I'm finally hitting that goal. But I didn't realize how sedentary I really was, because I think I'm super active, but every time I'm not training a client or working out, I'm sitting.
Exactly. So. Like I'll go and do my cardio like in the morning, and then I'll come home and I like sit for work or whatever. And then I do that until I go train again, and then I do my cardio and my posing. So like my actual training sessions, yes, like I'm moving and I'm walking around, but other than that, like I am sitting.
Yeah.
So I try to, especially since I work from home, it makes it a little bit, of course I'm going to sit, but I also notice that the days that I'm like filming videos for YouTube, or I'm making TikToks, or I'm making reels, then I'm actually at home and I'm still moving a lot because I'm setting up the camera, like maybe changing outfits or something. But that's like a very niche. That's very niche.
I get it though. When I film, I'm like, I feel the need to get off the couch.
Yes,
I'm like, let's go do something.
I'm like, okay, I need to move from my desk right now and go and do something different.
So I get it.
The next one is to actually be in a caloric deficit. And what I mean by this, like actually, is kind of what I was saying before. You need to be in a caloric deficit in order to lose weight. So which means that you need to be eating less calories than your body burns. And of course, like it's easy said than done. Like, how do I find this? How do we do this? But like I was saying with my clients that I have phone calls with before they sign on to one-on-one coaching, they don't know if they're in a caloric deficit. They're just kind of guessing because they're like, I'm eating healthy, I'm moving, I'm exercising, like I go to the gym, like why am I not losing weight? It's because you don't have any numbers that you're tracking.
Yeah.
To not only track your progress to see if it's working, but you don't know how much you're eating, how little you're eating, if you're getting enough protein in. You don't actually know if you're in a caloric deficit, which is what you need in order to lose weight.
Yeah.
So you need to know your numbers. And I'm going to pop, hopefully Kendall can pop this up on screen, but I found a really like easy way to find your maintenance level calories, because if we want to find our caloric deficit first, we need to find our maintenance level calories. And our maintenance level calories is the amount of calories that we need to ingest in a day to just maintain the current weight that we're at. So the way that we can do this is multiply your body weight by your activity level. Now, this is a little bit generalized. So of course, like when you're finding your caloric deficit, there's going to be a little bit of trial and error too. And that's why tracking progress each week and seeing that caloric intake and how it actually responded with your body is really important. So for example, like say that you are very active, you would multiply your current body weight by like 17 or 18. And if you're moderately active, then probably multiply your body weight by 15. If you're less active, 13. So I'm going to do it really quick with like myself.
I was just doing mine. If I am less active at my body weight, my maintenance would be 2,100 calories, which honestly, I don't know where you found this, but it's a pretty good rule of thumb.
Good start.
Because at least it's giving you exactly like a place to know, okay, I'm going to start eating at this exact number. And you can see how your body reacts. Like track your progress, take photos, take measurements, whatever you need to do. And then if you go, oh, I'm actually losing weight, perfect. If you're not, just dropping it that 100 or 200 calories from there, you'll start seeing results.
Exactly. What's and for yours? Me, weighing at 150 pounds and then multiplying 18, I'm like, I know I'm very active, would put me at 2,700 calories, which is basically when I go into my off season and we start reversing, I end up going right back to this place, like to maintain the amount of muscle that I have. So it's pretty accurate. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And then whenever we start cutting, that's when we start cutting from that number. And like you were saying before, it is really good to just kind of know a general idea of where your maintenance level calories is, so that when you start tracking what you're eating every day, you're like, oh crap, I'm eating way under this number. Or like, oh, I'm eating way over this number. Of course, I am not actually losing weight.
Well, that too, if you do end up finding your maintenance and you're sitting there and you're you're eating at this certain calorie level and you're not really seeing results, but you're also not gaining weight and you're like, okay, I'm at my maintenance, and you want to go into a caloric deficit. We've said this a million times, but just to reiterate, do not drop your calorie intake by like 1,000 calories.
Yes.
There is no need to be super excessive with how much food you drop, because it's just going to harm you in the long run. You're going to plateau. You're going to have nowhere else to go. If you're already starting really low, it's so much harder to lose weight long term. So a healthy start is just dropping it 100 calories. You'll start seeing a little bit of results. If you plateau there, drop it another 100, but never take your maintenance and just drop it by 500, 600, 700 calories right off the bat, because yes, you'll see results, but they're going to plateau way more quickly.
Exactly. Whereas you could just inch your way there and see weight loss consistently come off instead of having less wiggle room. So now you went from, like, say for the example, I went to 2,700 down to 2,000 in 1 week. And now your body is adjusting to that. And one thing that happens is when you start losing weight, your body takes less calories in order to maintain itself. So if I went to 150 calories and I weigh 150 pounds and I am doing 2,700 calories, but then now I'm at 140 pounds. I'm going to do math on my calculator.
You got it.
And I'm still very active. Then 140 times 18. Now it only takes me about 2,500 calories to like maintain my physique. And it keeps like dropping like that. So dropping it drastically is a surefire way to rebound really hard, which kind of goes into the next one. And the last tip is to give yourself like a realistic timeline.
Yep.
Because the quicker and more drastic that you either like drop your calories or you increase your cardio, or some people usually do both at the same time. They're like, I'm just going to do a bunch of cardio workout all the days and I'm going to eat like nothing. The more likely you are to rebound, gain the weight back, and then some, because you're starving yourself so much that when maybe your cut is over, you've reached your goal weight, you like how your physique is, you start kind of going overboard with the food, and this is how people gain the weight back.
Agreed. And adding to that, I feel like roped into the same tip is just like being consistent. Like if you're constantly fluctuating how much you're eating, what you're eating, how much you're training, how you're training, you're not going to know what's giving you results. And you're also going to keep staying at the same physique level because you're not giving your body enough time to actually change. Exactly. So you need to just be consistent through this time, give yourself time, just see how things work out for yourself. And most of the time, like 90% of the time, you'll shock yourself with how much results you'll start seeing just by doing these steps. Like it really doesn't take a lot, to start seeing that weight loss difference.
Yeah, and it takes your body anywhere from 7 to 14 days to adjust to, say, a new diet or a new like cardio plan or something like that. So give yourself that time to use in that calorie count that you're doing. Like give it the full amount of time before you immediately just go to, it didn't work. Like it's been 3 days and I haven't dropped my calories. I haven't dropped any weight yet. So I'm just going to cut my calories even more. So give your body some time to adjust. Make a note of, okay, at this amount of calories, this is the weight that I started at. Okay, then I was on this amount of calories for a week. My weight is here. Maybe my stomach has gone in a little bit or whatever it might be, and track that progress, because genuinely being consistent over time is what's going to get you the results, rather than Kendall said, just switching it up and like, okay, it didn't work. We got to do something new. We got to do something more drastic. Give it time. Yeah,
don't like go into panic mode. Just like trust the process. That is like my number one tip to anyone starting like a fitness journey is like trust the process. Like your body is going to regulate. Even if you like gain initial water weight, just stick with a plan and I guarantee like it'll work. Like if you're in a caloric deficit and you're moving, you're going to see results. It just sometimes takes your body a little longer than other times.
Yes. And my question to you for at least this one is, would you rather lose the weight, say in like a month, and you get to your goal weight or your dream physique, whatever it looks like, and then gain all the weight back and then some? Or would you rather maybe it take 4 months, 6 months, and it's a little bit slower. You don't get that like instant gratitude of all the weight coming off, but you're able to actually sustain your weight loss long term, and you never reach a point where you're back where you started.
I'm pretty sure all of you will and should pick the second
and
option.
trust me, Kendall and I we've done both. We've done it in the way where we gain all the weight back and it's not sustainable. This is why bodybuilders typically, of course, it's a more drastic way of cutting. Like a lot of bodybuilders, it's just like that. But that's why we take 5 months, 4 months, whatever it might be to cut down for a show so that it is more sustainable for something that is not really sustainable. So
every time I've done a fast prep and been like, I'm going to drop 20 pounds in the next 12 weeks, I'll do it. And then I'll gain it all back plus
feel like trash.
And it just doesn't feel good. And it's not good for your body to rebound like that. Like our bodies don't want to change our body weight every month or two. So definitely stick with the plan. Give yourself enough time. I know we're already in summer, but like you can see results as soon as, like you were saying, like a week or two, and then just keep going. Like keep cutting until the end of summer or into winter. Like there's no rules on when to be lean,
Yes, you can be lean
whenever
during
you
Christmas.
Want. Lean Christmas this year.
Lean Christmas.
Start the trend.
But these are like just simple things that you can start doing right now to level up and get closer to that goal that you want. And comment down below y'all's tips because we are curious of what you think, and hope you enjoyed this little episode. And as always, we love you all so much, and you are more powerful than you think.
Bye.